What did you think of how Cole played specifically and his legs? It seemed like he was maybe more of a factor running the ball than some of us may have expected.
Well, I thought all the quarterbacks played well. Cole certainly did. He threw the ball well. He ran well. I thought Evan did the same. I mean, you look at them; they almost have identical bylines. Noah, the one thing that I was so impressed with watching tonight is the entire game. Noah coaching guys on the sideline. I mean, really coaching them on details, and that was great to see. I was overall pleased, and I thought Johnny did some good things as well. So I think everybody contributed, and everybody had a chance to play, which was good. And I thought they played well, which was even better.
Bobby Darin, 24/7.
Greg, can you talk about the Spring Award recipients and what made you choose each of those guys for their respective awards?
Sure. I start with Robert Longerbeam. Robert just really gutted through a painful injury that he had, and then couldn't do it anymore. So he got surgery, and he's going to be ready for camp. But he really exhibited every day coming to practice, working hard, fighting through it, and I thought he really personified what that award is meant to be. Holland Pierce on offense won the most improved, and I really thought that Holland had a great spring. He's been coming on. He's had kind of a linear ascent that we're pleased with. Really, really good in certain things, and there's certain things that because he hasn't played a ton of football, we have to get him up to speed with. But I think he's going to be a fine player. I think that Tyree Powell really came on this spring. He got injured during the season and wasn't able to do everything, and he just had a really good spring. It made a lot of plays, showed his ability, and so that's why those three guys won it. It wasn't easy. There was several guys that I thought qualified to win those, at least the most improved award. But when it came down to it, those are the guys that we selected.
Gonna go to Chris Eisman with Gannett.
Greg, what did you think about the way your tight ends played, particularly Giovanni and Victor?
Again, I was really pleased with the way they played tonight. I've been pleased with the way they've progressed in the spring. It makes you a much more potent offense, a harder offense to defend when you have multiple tight ends, and you can change out of multiple tight end sets, single tight end sets, and then if you want to, zero tight end sets. So I think that's something that we're all excited about, to be able to move. We're a no-huddle offense, but we do change personnel at times. So if you have the personnel to change, it gives defenses other challenges.
Gonna go to Chris Nowalski with Rivals.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask about your thoughts on how Aaron Young and Ray Collins ran at running back today.
Well, I thought the backs overall, all of them ran well today. I know Pop would have liked to, Isaiah Pacheco would have liked to get more carries, but that was on purpose. And then AY got some really good carries. I think Kyle Monunga had some really good carries. He's had a good spring. And then Jameer Wright-Collins, same thing. He had a productive spring and had a good night. So all good stuff. Great competition. I think, what I like is the competition at the tight end spot, the competition at the running back spot, the competition at the quarterback spot. Competition makes everybody better. It's, counter to human nature, right? It pushes you to be better. And, same thing at the wide receiver spot. When you look at the offense, I think some guys are really getting better in that area, and we need to, so it's real important.
Gonna go to Tom Canavan with AP.
Hey, Greg. When in a game like this where offense is showcased so much, is it harder to get a feel for your defenses?
Well, it is, Tom, because you don't, we split the roster, so the whole team got split, and it's hard to do this in a spring game, but we didn't have to flip-flop. We've had to flip-flop one guy and that was it, which was great. We did it at halftime, projecting where we had a guy got bumped, and that was it. So to be able to do that in a spring game, I was very pleased. Speaks to some depth that's being created, some competition that's there. And defensively, we didn't run many calls, which is the way you do it most of the time in a spring game. You keep it very basic. I really wanted to just see guys block and tackle and run and throw and catch, and I thought that was accomplished.
Gonna take our final few questions. We're gonna go to Keith Sargent, NJ.com.
Greg, do you think this team has a chance to go to a bowl game?
Oh, Keith, you're putting the cart way out there in front of the horse, buddy. I'm hoping that we all show up tomorrow for exit interviews before they leave. So, yeah, you're way ahead of me on that one, boss.
I mean, just knowing the depth. I mean, you've seen this team for 15 practices. We've seen them for one.
That's a really good question, Keith. You're way ahead of me. I think you know me better than that. Yeah, I hope that we show up for exit interviews and then we have a great summer and give ourselves a chance to get to training camp and play it from there. I like our team, though. You know that. I think they work really hard. Today was an example of that. I thought that they approached this thing like a mature group of guys. We have some good leaders that run the team, and that's important, and it needs to continue to grow. When you have guys in the locker room that are running the team and allows us to do our job, it gives us a chance. So that's what I'm looking for, guys, to keep doing that. And we need to make sure that that's a full-time job for those guys being leaders on this team.
James Scratch, NJ.com.
Greg, obviously you had Avery Young at safety. Is that permanent now? Is he going to be there, or are you maybe going to think about putting him back at corner?
Well, I think Avery gives us multiple position value, right? He can play corner. We know that. He can play star, which is our nickel, and he can also play safety. So when you have a guy that has that skill set and can do all three, I really think he could be very good at any one of the three. So it's now going to be a position, a matter of need for us. Where, when we put all the pieces together over the summer and come up with a way to enter camp, where does he serve best? Because he's an unselfish player. He'll play wherever we ask him to, and I think he can be good at all three positions.
Richie Schneiderite with Rivals.
Hey, Greg. So can you talk a little bit more about the development of Wesley Bailey? I know he had a sack or half a sack, whatever it was, and it seemed like he was creating pressure on almost just about every snap he was in there.
Wesley is a young player that has a chance to be really good. He's physically gifted. He's put on some weight in his off-season training, so I think I know he's stronger. He's more durable. He's more physical. Like any young player, he's got a long way to go, but he definitely has a knack for getting by the blocker on pass rush. And there's more to playing defensive end than that, but Wesley is definitely a guy that I have a lot of high hopes for.
We'll take our final two questions. Chris Eisman with Gannett.
Greg, what did you think of that play that Isaiah Washington made, and what did you see from him all spring?
I think he had a really good spring. He came in with a chip on his shoulder, and he worked very hard. I think he had a little lull at one point and then fought his way out, and then tonight, obviously, that was a spectacular play, but he had some other plays as well. So I was glad to see him end spring on that note. He's a good player. He's a guy that is a great guy to have on the football team, and I think that he will bring production to the offense come fall.
Going to end with Bobby Darin with 24/7.
Greg, what's your thoughts on the offensive line now that you have these 15 spring practices completed?
A work in progress, Bobby. It's a great question. I mean, it wasn't a secret that when we arrived here, that was the biggest area of deficiency. By sheer numbers alone, it was the biggest area of deficiency. We had to try to rebuild that any way we could, and now they've gotten stronger. They've had a year with Coach Orrick working on technique and understanding scheme. So I think we're better. We're not where we need to be, and right now I'm not sure I could tell you who the starting five would be if we trotted them out there. So that will be a training camp deal where just we'll find the best five, and what position they play. A lot of that depends on who the best five are, because some guys can play two positions, and you just work it out, and then you figure out who's sub one, sub two, and sub three. It's how you try to get an 8-man rotation going that you can go into the season with. Ideally you'd have a 10-man rotation, but I'm not sure we're there. First we got to find 5. Well,
Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate again, guys, as always, you covering us, and I do want to make mention of that last play when regulation was done, and our healthcare professionals who helped us through this entire time, this entire COVID-19 period, where it really was unparalleled. I think, I know in my career, my 33 years, unparalleled as far as the amount of strain and stress that it put on everybody involved, and those people probably the most, right? Testing every day, dealing with the guys that were positive, the whole shooting match. And to have that last play and then to have all the players jump all over, that was really special to me, because those guys, everybody on that play really spent a ton of time working on our players, helping our players, arranging for our players to be cared for and caring for them. So a real heartfelt thank you to them. And I know we're not done yet. We're not out of the woods, but I was really, really appreciative, and I was glad we were able to do that as a small token of our appreciation to them. So you guys be safe. I guess we'll talk to you again here in June sometime, but until then, thanks again for covering us. Bye-bye.